Yeah, I mean, we just had our first team meeting in there, and I said the same thing to them. It's really up to them in terms of the direction of the season. We're going to push them really hard as a staff. We'll provide them every resource available to excel and to have sustained excellence every single day, but it's really going to be up to them in terms of where they want to go and how hard they want to be pushed, and what that ceiling looks like and how high that is. So I think, like you said, we have a lot of returning guys, a lot of really good players, a lot of really good people, guys that are excited to be back here, guys that are eager to move on, which I think is a good thing. And our job, as I said, as a staff, is to put them in the very best position possible to do that.
How much are you looking forward to having Travis Bazana starting the year here with you guys?
Yeah, really good kid. Just getting to know him through spring training. It's the first time I've really had a chance to be around him, but I think it'll be exciting for him, exciting for the city, the fans, to come out and see him every day. He works really hard. Really good kid. He plays hard. I know he's excited to be here and wear this uniform, so hopefully you guys have a chance to see him in action regularly.
What makes him special? What is it about?
I think he's a student of the game. He cares about his craft. He loves playing the game. I think that's a priority for players. They need to love to be here, and they need to want to be here. Baseball's a long season, as everybody knows. It's relentless at times. It's really hard to ride that wave of emotion if it gets to you. And I think, just in the brief snapshot that I've had a chance to kind of be around him, I've seen he's super cerebral. He seems like a guy that, like I said, will be pretty even-keeled throughout. At the end of the day, he knows who he is as an athlete. He knows who he is as a hitter. And he's uber confident. And I think that's part of the reason why you don't go 1-1 overall if you're not confident in who you are.
Look at, when you talk in the past, you talk about the importance of keeping your feet grounded or looking at that. How does Travis keep his feet grounded here and still keep the eye on the prize?
I don't think that changes from any player, really, right? There's got a lot of talented players. I think it's probably more pressure than anything for guys that are super talented and have that stigma of being the 1-1 overall pick. But at the end of the day, we have a lot of really, really talented players. We had a lot of really talented players last year. It's I don't think that's going to be an issue for him in terms of being grounded. I think if anything, it's him wanting to go out every day and succeeding and pushing himself to the limit. So again, I don't know him. I know some of you more than I know Travis, to be honest with you. I've been around Marco more than I've been around Bazana, so I can break down Marco's game probably better than Travis's.
Looking at
He needs a lot more work than Travis does.
the season, there's successes and then there's some low points. As a manager, what do you tell this team when they hit those low points so they can get back up to where you want them playing, maybe even past that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's coaching, right? I think any person who loves this craft and loves this profession, they have a unique ability at times to push guys when they need to be pushed. And there's times where you need to give them a hug and tell them you love them. There's times where you need to coach them really hard. And sometimes when they are in those ruts, sometimes you don't say anything at all. And I think it's all about timing. We've all, everyone that's been here has worked probably various jobs and ones they really like, and worked for people that they really liked working for. And I would suffice to say that the ones that you had the most success with and the ones you felt most comfortable with, where you felt like you thrived in your profession, in your career, was where you were put in the best position possible to succeed, and they knew that you cared about who they were as a person even more than the numbers on the back of their baseball card. And I think when they are struggling and when players are in those ruts, sometimes those are the times when you need to not talk as much about baseball and talk a little bit more about who they are as people, and let them know that you really care about who they are and that you love them.
Just a few days away from gates opening, this place filling up. What makes Akron RubberDucks fans and this place so special? And what are you looking forward to most about when you guys get to play here in front of your home fans?
Yeah, I mean, just last year we had a fantastic season, just obviously from a wins-loss standpoint. But I think it comes down, to be honest with you, it comes down to the organization. I think we have I've said this before, we have such great kids, we have such great men. I call them kids still because I'm getting older and they're staying the same age. So we have such great guys on the team that, really care about each other. They care about wearing this uniform. They care about wearing the C, during spring training. They're uber competitive. They're really good teammates. I think that's what makes it fun to come out here and watch our team play and compete, is that they, they're cut from the same cloth as a lot of our staff members too. I like to say that I'm an extension of the roster. You probably see me in the dugout sometimes. I'm into the games as much as the guys are, and if we're going to be successful as a group, it can't be the manager or a coach up here and the rest of the players here. I think it's everybody pushing and pulling in the same direction. I think you need to make sure that you have, the right group of players that, like I said, it comes down to caring about each other and caring about the person sitting next to you. And I certainly do that as a manager. And I think the guys see that, and hopefully the fans can see that as well.
Fans have a pretty good idea of how Vogt approaches the Major League roster and the clubhouse vibes. What have you taken from that after spring training, and how do you differentiate, or how do you differ from his approach?
Yeah, I think so. I think Voter's probably similar to. I haven't been in that clubhouse a ton, but I've coached and managed way more games than Voter has, but not at that level. He's played a lot more games at that level. This is, I think, my 27th year coaching. At the end of the day, I think any coach that puts himself up on a pedestal, you're asking yourself to be pushed off or knocked off. I think he acts as though he's an extension of that roster. I've seen the way he interacts with his players. They respect him. He knows they love him, but he also is not afraid to coach them. And I think that's something that, guys that have played for me know that. We will work incredibly hard here, and I'll push them probably more than they've ever been pushed. And just when they think they've given enough, I'll tell them there's more in the tank. And those are days that will probably piss them off, and I'm okay with that. But they also know I care about them, and they know that I love them. And I think that's very eerily similar to Voter and the rest of the staff up there at the big league level.
Is that an ethos that kind of goes through all of the different levels in the Cleveland organization?
Yeah, I think we have different personalities from affiliate to affiliate and coach to coach. I don't think we're all cookie cutters, but I think that Trace in Columbus, he's one of my best friends in the org. I spent a year with him in Columbus, the manager there. I think we're all pretty similar in that regard. I think we do a really good job, in the front office and up top at our leadership level to bring in the right people. It makes it easy to coach. Anybody can roll out of the stands here and coach our group of guys just because we're such good guys. I think the timing of it is what is essential in terms of being a manager that can push the buttons at the right time and can challenge players at the right time. And when they are in that, the aforementioned rut that they're into, to have the right timing of helping that person get out of that and making them feel confident in who they are as a player and as a person.
Thank you.
D, as you reflected on last season, just getting a chance to have some distance from it, what were the lessons that came that you can kind of share with the team or use it as instruction for your players and the coaching staff and even for yourself taking away from last year?
Yeah, besides winning the last game of the season, which is our ultimate goal. I think, again, it's just even though we have a lot of the same personnel and a lot of the same faces, we got a lot of new guys here. It's a new season, and the one message I would tell players is that, as successful as we were last year, they had the best record in the Eastern League last year in the regular season. That's a pretty cool accomplishment. But they haven't won a single game this season, and it doesn't really matter what they did last year. So if you had a fantastic year last year as a player, you build on that individually. If you struggled last year as a player, you have to find a way to get off the mat, get up, dust yourself off, and punch back right out of the gate here, and it's another opportunity for you to showcase who you are.
You've had Tommy Mace a few times over the years, and he gets to start for you opening night. Where is he at right now in his journey, and what does this mean that he gets to take the ball first?
Yeah, there's nobody else that you'd rather have than a guy that competes the way that Tommy does. I love the kid, and he's been an ultimate competitor for me in Lake County and Eastlake for, I think, a couple of years to last year. This might be my fourth year, at least my third for sure, maybe my fourth year managing him. I'll go to battle with him every day of the week and twice on Sunday. He's a really good kid, and he knows, similar to Travis that we were talking about earlier, he knows his craft. He knows what he's really good at, yet he knows when he steps on the mound, it's about competing, but yet developing too. And he doesn't lose sight of that, the ability to develop every day that he comes out here. So I'm excited to see him this season.